Welcome back to 5 Minutes QA Shorts. Here, I help you to prepare for a QA interviews smartly and quickly. Let's get started. Today, I'm going to break down one of the important interview questions around performance test strategy. Nowadays, companies are expecting full stack QA engineer. That means he should be good at functional testing, non functional testing, that means performance testing as well. So, how will you derive your performance test strategy? So, listen carefully. There are few important points to design the performance test strategy whenever your application is based on microservice architecture or micro front end architecture. Nowadays, most of the applications are based on these two latest technologies. So, how can we go ahead with the performance test strategy and planning? First point you should understand, we have to understand the architecture of the project. Means what are all architecture components are there, how they are interacting with each other, which components has impact on other components, all these things. Second would be identifying the end-to-end user journey. If you have observed, most of the performance issue lies with the common user journeys. So we have to identify such a user journeys where we have to focus for the performance test. Third point, while doing this performance testing, we have to also think about service level testing. Most of the blockers are at the service level, so we have to test each service. If it is a microservice architecture, each API we have to test what is the response of time of the API, what is the throughput request per second for that API, and what is the error rates. If it is a micro front end architecture, we have to check what is the load time of the page load time of that particular UI, and so on. And at the end, very important, monitoring and reporting. When we are doing all these things, performance testing, we have to monitor the resources, what kind of CPU it's utilizing, what is the memory it's using. Along with that, we have to also think about end to end flow testing. That means we have to stimulate the end to end production like scenario in test environment, and we have to test. Here, the major critical part comes the test data preparation. We have to uh, stimulate the same test data environment as well to perform such a performance testing. Generally, this performance testing budget is too high. Companies avoid to do that, but this is really important if your company is thinking about scaling at large scale. So, to give a quick recap on the performance test strategy is first understand the architecture, second identify common user journeys, third check the basic standard and service level testing, fourth end to end performance testing by mimicking the production like environment, and fifth monitoring and reporting of performance test. I hope you find this useful. Stay tuned for the next episode. Till that, bye bye and take care.